This episode of We Are Grant County is brought to you by Toad Talk Media, where community stories come to life. From small town events to big-hearted people, we're proud to celebrate what makes Grant County special. Want to be featured or support the show? Visit us online at wearegrantcounty.com and join the movement.
We'd like to thank our local supporters for helping us shine a light on Grant County. Supporting local media means supporting your neighbors, your schools, and your future. If your business would like to sponsor an episode or be a feature in our magazine, reach out today at toadtalkmedia.com. Together, we keep the stories rolling.
Today on We Are Grant County, we're honored to sit down with Williamstown's Mayor, David Henson. Mayor Henson is serving the people of Williamstown, not just through his leadership in City Hall, but through his connections to the community. Under his guidance, Williamstown is building on its strengths as a place where neighbors look out for one another, where events bring families together, and where growth doesn't mean losing touch with small-town roots. Beyond the title of mayor, David is also a neighbor, a friend, and a proud advocate for the people and stories that make Williamstown unique. Today we'll talk to him about upcoming events that you won't want to miss, the challenges and joys of leading a small town, and what makes Williamstown such a special place to call home. So, let's welcome Mayor David Henson to the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me here today. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to our conversation.
Thank you so much for allowing us to come in and visit. Because, like I said to you when I walked in here, I don't really come into the city building very often. So to be able to come in, sit down with you, and learn a little bit about what's going on, I'm looking forward to it.
And likewise, it's my pleasure.
So what's one thing about Williamstown that makes you proud every single day?
I think the one thing about Williamstown that makes me proud is just let's take the city employees, for example. They work hard every day, they love their job, and they love coming to work, and they love being part of it. They love saying, I work for the city of Williamstown. And that means a lot to me as I ask them to do things, and they say, great, just remove my challenges, remove my roadblocks, and I'm glad to do it. And that, I feel, is my number one job. The community itself, I went to the Back to the School Bash for Williamstown a couple of weeks ago, and to see the parents and the students and the school spirit, the community spirit that's there, was to me was just amazing. And those are the things that say, yeah, Dave, you made the right decision here.
Mm-hmm. And that kind of leads into another question that we have. What do you think makes this community different from others that are in Northern Kentucky?
Well, I have not been a Kentucky resident for too long, but from from my observations, it's a very proud city. It's the seat of the county. It has a history, and as I talk to people who've been here a long time, my neighbors, there's a history that they're proud of, and they take the time to tell you. They want you to know about their city and about how they've come through. And you go downtown Main Street and you see the flags of the veterans that are hanging on the street. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is, to me, that gives me chills.
You don't have anything?
I would think that's fantastic. I mean, it's just great to hear, that you're invested, mm-hmm. even as someone who didn't necessarily grow up here. I think you said you've been here 8 years?
About 8 years,
yes.
8 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've only been here a couple more years than you, so I'm no full-time, Grant County resident newbie. So I bring that to the podcast. Michelle's the veteran, the original. So
I've been around for a little while.
Yeah.
So what are some of the upcoming events that Williamstown does have coming up?
Well, the first thing I'll tell you about is our Farm to Table event, which is next Friday night, at 6 o'clock. And it's a event that's sponsored by the Chamber and the Tourism. So I'm not sure which one it is because they're kind of grouped together.
Yes.
But it's a yearly event that goes through the cities of each of the county, and this year is hosted by Williamstown, and we're very proud to have it. And we're going to close down Main Street, and we're going to set up tables, and we'll have it catered, and it'll be a nice event. And it does raise funds. We are contributing to the Grant County Historical Society from the proceeds, but it's more of a let's talk to our neighbors event, which I'm really looking forward to.
I've been able to be at a couple of them. So the first one that they did in Williamstown a handful of years ago, we were able to set up the photo booth there. And it was just a really fun event.
Yeah.
And then we did another one at Sherman Tavern. So to see it come back to Williamstown is pretty exciting because it is pretty cool to see Main Street shut down, all the lights come
And the lights
on,
going
and
on,
yeah, and everybody just having a good time.
And with all the new construction and new, flourishing down, quote unquote downtown, right, Main Street, it'll be even more exciting.
It really will be, and we're excited about it. Then the next Saturday, the 20th, we have the Marigold Day Festival. Now again, this is for those of you who don't know, I think everyone listening probably does. Marigold Day goes way back. 1971, I believe, was the first one. And it's been a proud tradition. And people tell us their stories, their memories. And last year, the former mayor started it up again. And we really felt we wanted to carry on that tradition. And so we're grateful to a person by the name of Caitlin Bentley Thayer, who is the Senior Program Manager of Interact for Health. And she was generous enough to give us money to sponsor the Marigold Days. And not only that, she also came up with an idea to do a documentary. And this documentary is for people to record their memories of Marigold Days throughout the years. And we're going to expand it to other memories, but we thought we'd start with this. We had former mayors come in, former Marigold Day Festival chair people, just old-timers, if you will. And they brought in pictures, and they told their stories and their memories of Marigold Days. And to me, that's something special.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
'Cause, when I think about when we moved here in '85, that's the first thing that I remember. Because when I was putting all this kind of this agenda together for today's conversation, I was like, what is the first thing I remember? And it would be Marigold Day. Yeah. That would be the first thing that I remember going to as the family.
And we're hoping that it's a success. We believe it will be. We're going to start off with the parade. We'll have the fire trucks, and there'll be old antique cars, and I think it's going to be some Mustangs and some Jeeps. They'll go down, and then our entertainment starts at 11 with Marty Brown, and then we'll have the Kentucky Cloggers, and then top this band will be in the afternoon, and there'll be vendors, and we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah,
it sounds exciting. I like the fact that it's being kind of revived and coming back, because it was something that was pretty fun.
And then on the 27th, we have the Bluegrass Festival downtown Williamstown, and that's from 3 to 10 p.m., so we're really looking forward to that. Just another event that we're having downtown. If you look in the weekends now on Main Street with the restaurants that are open, it's filled. The parking lots are filled. People are walking, and this is another entertainment value to me. People come and bring their chairs, their families. So that's always exciting. We've had 2 or 3 concerts downtown this summer, and they've all been pretty popular. I'm also featuring a mayor's meet and greet on the 29th with the business community. And there are some saying, well, what about everybody else? And we're going to get to everybody. Yeah. We're going to have several of these meet and greets. And my purpose for this is for each group that we have to get their perspective of where we are as a city and where it is we want to be, and what's the vision and how we're going to get there. So we're going to do things like a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats. And what are some of the things that we have in town that we can promote. Things like we have the Ark, and that's a strength. People come here for the Ark, and people come here for places like Patriots Landing with Joe Montgomery, and what a great job he does with the community.
Yeah, we had the opportunity to speak with him, and Joe's an old friend of ours, so yes.
He's exciting just to listen to.
Yes.
He really is. And there are our lake, in the Williamstown Lake. And so those are our strengths that we can build on, and opportunities. Well, what is it that we can do? I mean, there's talk of a museum coming in up across from the Ark. There's some hotels still coming, and is that what we're looking for? Those are the things we want for our city? Weaknesses, well, we're still a small town, and we still don't have all the things a big city has. So how do we leverage some of these things? Our tax base and things like that. And threats, the economy can fall at any time, and what if it does? Are we diverse enough to survive things like that? I mean, COVID took its toll on everybody, and hopefully we don't have that again, but who knows? So I am trying to get a perspective from different groups, in this case the business community, of what their expectations are, what they would like to see, what are the roadblocks they have, and how can I remove those roadblocks? And it's not a, pardon my French, a bitch session. It's going to be positive, and it's going to be, here's what we want to do. And we're not going to leave it to one meeting. We're going to take the information we get, we're going to put it together, we're going to put a plan of action together. We will match it with other group meetings that we have and try to come up with, in the end, a comprehensive plan for the city of Williamstown. And at that point, show the public, and hopefully decisions that are made well after I'm gone from this office can be made based on this vision that we set forth.
It sounds exciting, and I like the fact that you're kind of breaking them up into smaller groups so that everybody would be able to have a voice and,
Right.
an easy conversation. Now, based on that meet and greet that you're getting ready to have, is it only for businesses currently in Williamstown, or is it businesses across the county? Because they would all maybe have an impact on stuff in Williamstown as well, or how's
Well,
that
right now it's basically for the businesses in Williamstown.
Okay.
And I'm not saying, oh no, you can't go.
Yeah.
We're not doing
We're going to
that.
check your business
Right.
license at the door, make sure.
And honestly, I'm hoping for a big turnout, and I'm hoping people come and really want to participate.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah.
And
And I think that, like you said, the benefit of having the smaller groups is maybe people feeling more comfortable addressing some of their concerns in a smaller setting as opposed to one giant town hall where you're competing different voices, different concerns.
Everybody has different worlds, right, and different issues, and they come from different paradigms. And so if you can break it down into groups, industries, if you will, they pretty much have the common challenges. So they can speak knowing each other has basically the same challenges.
Yes.
And we can address them, and then the next group will do the same.
Mm-hmm. You're listening to We Are Grant County, a Toe Talk Media production. We're here to celebrate the people, places, and stories that make our community one of a kind. Now let's get back to our conversation with Williamstown's Mayor, David Henson, as we dive deeper into the events and connections shaping Williamstown. So that kind of leads us into community engagement. You've kind of addressed how you plan to do that. But what are other ways that residents may be able to get involved? Is it through volunteering or sponsoring something, or just showing up to events? What is a good way that they can get involved?
Easy answer, all of the above, right? So we have city council meetings, and most of the time there's 4 or 5 people in the audience. Now, I know there's some listening on the TV and all that, but I would like to see more participation at the city council meetings. Once a month we do a people's forum, and they're able to come up and address any issue they would like and talk about it or just comment. But there are other ways too. Yes, there are organizations, there are boards that they can join or be part of. I just recently joined the Kiwanis, and I would tell you I was not that familiar with the Kiwanis, although I know they've been around forever.
Yeah.
But just to hear what they do and how they help and contribute to the local business and the schools and the children, it's really inspiring. So I'm glad I did that. But that's something where you meet people in the community, leaders, and you can be a leader just by your church group or your Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, local school, and people appreciate that. So I think you get to meet more people and you become better informed.
I think Grant County has a pretty good diverse group, variety of some groups that are community service based. Not just, we recently joined the Kiwanis as well, and but just seeing some of the overlap in the discussions there, who are they working with? And I think maybe that is another way that I would say is another strength, is making sure that these organizations know what aren't necessarily competing, but maybe contributing to each other. That is
and I think the more you get involved, the more you see that, and people want to work with other people and other groups. So it's something I think I encourage everybody to do.
So as far as the events go, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but you've got the events coming up, and we talked about being in downtown Williamstown. So what role do the local businesses and organizations play in making the special events successful?
So I think it's imperative that you have their buy-in and you have their cooperation and understand that they're there to make money, right? That's why they're in business. And yes, we do ask a lot of our business owners, and hopefully we're giving back to them and helping them as well. I would tell you a couple quick stories, for Marigold Days. There's a piece of property between 2 buildings, and Hans Filippo, the local business owner, he's allowing us to put a bouncy house for the kids there, and that's his way of saying, yeah, let me help you. For the farm to table event, he's letting us use one of his businesses that's not being that's vacated right now to plate food for the farm to table. So besides financial donations or in-kind donations, there are donations like that, and he's not the only one. There are many others, and I can't go through all of them because I'm sure I'll miss one. Yeah. But the fact that they participate and are part of the part of the town, the community, if you will, is imperative, and we need them. On the flip side, I want to make sure that they are in a position to succeed as well.
So that kind of leads us to what message would you have for people that think that it's just a small town, it's just a small event, it doesn't really matter if I show up or if I go or anything like that?
Well, for them, I would tell them they're missing out on a lot of memories, and they're missing out on the opportunity to pass down the history that they have inherited and what they have seen from their lives to their children and their grandchildren. And that is how a culture like Williamstown maintains itself and continues to grow and has that feeling, because there are memories and someone's got to pass down the memories. So if anything, they are missing that. And I would encourage people to get out, even if it's for a short period of time.
That's a very good answer, because as far as Marigold Day goes, that's what comes back to my mind all the time. And everybody that knows me will tell you that my memory is not that very good. But I do remember going to Marigold Day, and I do remember doing some of those things. So that was a really good answer. I like that one. So what are some of the biggest challenges that you may have to pull off some of these events?
That's a great question. So when we went into this year, since I became mayor, I'm a person who understands my limitations and understand that if I'm involved in every detail of everything, then we're not going to get anywhere. So it's important to have a great team around you, great people who are willing to participate and help. And we were able to get that. I mean, Jason Payne, who was our new zoning administrator, who was on the city council, he volunteered to chair the Marigold Day Festival along with Jenna Austin Smith. He put a team together which included many people in this building. Brandy Hall, my administrative assistant, Miss Tammy Steele over there, amongst others. And this Caitlin Bentley Thayer from Interact for Health, she's been a participant, along with others. Jamie Baker from the Chamber and Tourism, Joey from Street Arts down in Dry Ridge. So he was able to put together this great team, and they've met regularly, and they've planned out the details. I go to the meetings and give my 2 cents, but certainly we have enlisted people who are willing to help. Our city employees, Derek Holland has helped out, and he helps out with the farm to table. And what's great about it, people like Jamie Baker they can just call Derek directly and say, hey, I need this moved, or I need that, and he just says, got it, and he does it. So with everybody's participation, and I always tell all my people, you're only as strong as your weakest link, because you're a team, and we are a team here, and people are positive, and they want to do well.
That's amazing. So with this team and everybody that you have, making your chain the strongest that it can be, where do you see Williamstown growing or changing in the next couple of years?
Again, good question. So we're trying to get to that answer. And I may have thoughts of my own, and I do. But I want to make sure there's a consensus. I want to make sure these meet and greets that we're having, that I take a step back and I listen to those who are there, and we put together a plan to do that. I believe we need to continue our growth in the hospitality industry. We have the Ark, we have other attractions come in. So what does that mean? Well, that means hotels, that means restaurants, that means people need places to stay, and other things to do to keep them here. Right. So that's how I'm looking at things. Right. And I believe in the end, I'll get other suggestions and we'll put it all together.
I think we talked about that with Joe, heads and beds, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you build, with your commerce, and businesses grow with the more people that are here. And I think that's why some of the projects on Main Street in Williamstown are so exciting.
Yep. I would agree.
So I'm gonna throw another good one out there for you, I think. So if someone was listening to this podcast, and hopefully
they are.
Hopefully, hopefully that'll bring them to maybe want to come visit Williamstown.
Yeah.
But what would you say to them to entice them more to come down?
I think right now I would say, hey, look, have you heard of the Ark Encounter? And who hasn't? My wife and I owned a hotel in Corinth for a few years, and we originally bought that because of the Ark. It was just got going, and we would go outside in the parking lot, and we would see license plates from every state in the country, and they'd be all over. And I would say 75% of our guests, especially from May to October into the beginning of November, 75 or more, they're here because of the Ark. So I think, I have met with the leadership of the Ark management team, including Mr. Ham. And, I want to partner with them, and I want to make sure that they know that we're here. And they made a commitment to come to the meet and greet on the 29th. But there are other things. The lake, Williamstown Lake, is beautiful. And we need to get that an attraction where people come in and can spend the day at the lake and relax and bass fish, right? There's a lot of good fish down there. There's a possible museum coming, which is across from the Ark, which is going to be another huge attraction. So those are the things Patriots Landing, right? And what an honor it is to have Joe and his group here. They actually build those flag boxes that go to Arlington National Cemetery. I mean, that to me is big. And people, if you go into his shop and you see what he has and how he honors these veterans and these people who have made sacrifices, those are the things we should be talking about and really, really participate in. So those are the things I would tell people. We're a small town. We are friendly. When you come, we welcome you. I'll tell you a quick story. About 4 or 5 years ago, my mother-in-law decided that she was going to move from Florida back up here. And she built a house next to our house. And when it came in with our HOA, everybody's mailbox has to be the same. It's the same mailbox, everybody, right? So you may or may not know a gentleman named Eddie Gabbert. Everybody knows him in town. He's a retired school teacher, coach. He's one of my neighbors, and he's always looked out for us and looked out for me. So one day I said, Eddie, I have to go get a mailbox for my mother-in-law because I don't know where to get them. So he goes, come on, get in the truck, let's go. So he takes me down to the place, and we buy the mailbox and bring it up, and I put it in my mother-in-law's garage. Now, at the time I was still working, I wasn't retired yet, and I worked a lot of hours, and it was like there for 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, and it was still in there because I hadn't had a chance to. I come home one day, as I'm going into my road to my house, I see Eddie out there with 2 or 3 of my neighbors, and they're literally putting the mailbox in the ground. They said they did it, and I'm saying that's what neighbors do. And it was overwhelming to me because I felt so grateful. He just took it upon himself to do that. That's what Williamstown is about, I believe. And I see it every day. So I'm proud to be the mayor. I really believe I want to lead the city going forward. And it's not about me. It really, I was retired. I mean, I was done working. But I just felt this calling. And I felt that it was at this point the right time, the right thing for me to do, and I'm thankful I did it, and I'm thankful God allowed me to do it.
You sound kind of like Michelle in retirement. I think she's just as busy as she ever was.
I've retired in August. Haven't been retired very long, but I've been busy.
Well, I thought I was going to retire and just, take it easy, and I found out that that's not me. I can't do that. I just can't sit down and watch shows. Yeah. I got to be out there, and I like what I do.
Well, I mean, I knew when I retired that I would, continue with the photography that I do, and I knew that I was going to start the podcast. And I figured I'd still have some free time. I really haven't found the free time yet.
We'll find it eventually.
Yeah.
With the events and everything that you've got going on with Williamstown and things like that, where can people find out information?
wtownky.org is our website, and you can see all the events there. You can see what's going on with our city government and breakdown of the departments. We also have an app, Williamstown app, Kentucky, that you can download, and it has all that information on the app, which is good because you can see right from your phone, council is being scheduled, or should there be a water boil advisory, or should there be a snow day, things like that. So it's all there.
And luckily with our technology, we can include all of those links in our episode notes.
So thank you, Mayor Henson, for joining the We Are a Grant County podcast. And we want just to remind listeners that they can support local, show up, celebrate what makes Grant County special.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on. Whenever I can tell a story about the city, I'm anxious to do that. and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today.
Want to be part of the action? Williamstown has a calendar full of community events waiting for you. Festivals, live music, family fun, and more. Don't just hear about it later. Experience it for yourself. Visit the City of Williamstown's website, their Facebook page, or their app for all the latest updates. Come out, show up, and celebrate what makes the town shine. Don't just listen. Be a part of the story. Nominate a guest, share an event, or even join as a member of We Are Grant County. Head over to our We Are Grant County Facebook page or website for details. Your voice matters, and we'd love to hear it.
ToadTalkMedia.com